So ladies and gentlemen, as you're well aware of, the 2022-2023 Dallas Cowboys season has been over for some time now, several months in fact. And the way that season ended, still a poor taste in many fans' mouth, specifically the kicking game. We didn't have a problem with it throughout the entirety of the 2022 season, but the minute the calendar turned over to 2023, specifically in the postseason, Brett Maher could not hit an extra point to save his life. And that is a scary proposition considering you're in the single elimination games where every point matters. Now, in the game versus Tampa, it really didn't. The fact being that you're scoring so much and the other team isn't doing a lick of anything, it doesn't even matter. But then you go up against a team like San Francisco and the game turns into a slobber knocker type of situation. You need your kicker to step up. And if you get a touchdown and you're about to go up 4 points and he misses, that changes the complexion of how the other team's trying to attack the game and also how you go about the game. For example, you could be driving and then you stall at the 35-yard line of your opponent, and then it's like 4th and 5 or 4th and 6. And you have to make a decision. You know, if your kicker is on his game, you're sending him out there, easy peasy. But if your kicker's struggling, you have to think, okay, we can go home if I make the wrong decision here. Do I go for it or do I try to kick it? And when you have that dilemma, that doesn't help you. You know, you need to get as many points as you can when given the opportunities. Of course, the flow of the game matters too, right? But that's something that factors into how you make decisions on offense. And then when the opponent goes out onto the field on offense, hey, we're only down by 3 because they missed an extra point. Let's try to go for the tie here. Or, you know what? Let's see what we can do here because we know their kicker can't do anything. Maybe we do go for it in these instances. And these are the arguments that happen. And this fight or flight response really comes into play during the postseason. And there are some people that will be like, Space, why is this so important? Why do we need a soliloquy on special teams, this, that, and a third? Because special teams matter. They're the difference between your team making the postseason or missing the postseason. They're the difference between your team being the first overall seed in your conference versus being the 4th seed in your conference. They're the difference between you winning the whole championship versus you going out as a first-round exit. That is how important special teams matter. And if you don't take care of it, it becomes a problem. We know this very well from the 2021 season. Your kicking game is what cost you the number 1 seed in the NFC. And this is why I'm very adamant about the Cowboys finding a kicker. Right now, they only have 1 kicker on the roster. You know who that is? His name is Tristan Vizcaino, and I'm telling you right now, if you did not know this guy was the only kicker on our roster as of this point in time, and I just said his name, you would probably ask me, is that a character from The Sopranos? Now, all joking aside, is this guy a possible option for the Cowboys as their main kicker in 2023? Well, when you look at his history, he started off in 2018 as an undrafted rookie free agent. He bounced around several teams, including the Cowboys in 2020. And he actually got a gig with the 49ers in 2020 as well, where in the Week 17 matchup against Seattle, he got a chance to start as their kicker, and he hit all 3 of his attempts for the 49ers, which is awesome. This led to him getting a job in LA with the Chargers, and he actually won the starting job over there. What ended up happening was he made his field goals, but what really caused him to get kicked out of LA was the fact he missed a league-high 5 extra point attempts through the first 7 weeks of the season. He then got back on the practice squad, and he's bounced around a little bit more, and now he's back with the Cowboys. Now, he's made 9 field goals out of 10 attempts, which is nice, and his longest field goal is 47 yards. Now, one of the things is that the Cowboys stated in the offseason that they were starting over at the kicker position. Now, does that mean that Brett Maher is gone? I have no clue, because he could be back, and I think it would be in the Cowboys' best interest to just sign him for insurance so that they can have another kicking competition like they did last year. Because last year, you tried the undrafted free agent route with Jonathan Garibay fresh out of college, and he didn't work out. You brought a guy from the CFL by the name of Liram Hajrullahu, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, and he didn't work out. So you bring in Brett Maher, and luckily he did a good enough job where you had a kicker throughout the 2022 season. But what worries me is if Tristan doesn't pan out, I don't know who the Cowboys are going to bring in here, because really the Cowboys figured it out during the training camp preseason process. And so what are the options the Cowboys have? If they don't want to go for Brett Maher, who else is out there? So when you look at the free agent list, it's very bare bones. You have guys like Mason Crosby, Ryan Suckup, Robbie Gould, which has been a popular name in Cowboy circles, mine included. You know, Randy Bullock, Zane Gonzalez, Quinn Norton, and Julian Diaz. And if I'm being honest with you, none of them have the leg like Brett Maher has. But if you're looking at Robbie Gould, for example, right, who was a name that I'm like, you know what, just go get this guy. He's a consistent, you know, inside the 50, he's going to get you points. I'm not saying he's a god-tier kicker, but he's a consistent, he's going to give you points. And that's what I want on this team. And the problem is that you eliminate the, I can't kick a 60-yard field goal if I need to. And I love Brett Maher for what he did here, but what worries me is there was a reason he fell out of Dallas the first go-around. And I don't want to re-experience that. And all I'm asking for is a guy that can just kick a field goal when it's inside the 50. And, you know, if you can't make anything outside of 55 yards, I'm not going to throw a bitch fit over it, but it's nicely welcomed, if that makes any sense. So there's not a whole lot of options for the Cowboys out there. And if I'm looking at the situation as it is, they really got to start taking this kicking game seriously, because there were a lot of options that were taken off the board if you were really trying to upgrade at the kicker spot. You know, Matt Gay was a popular commodity at the kicker spot, and he got swooped up by Indy, I believe. And then it really felt like all the other kickers that were out on the scene that you could use to upgrade from just got swooped up because you didn't do your due diligence there. So at this point, we just got to hope and pray the Cowboys figure it out. Again, I'm not opposed to bringing Brett Maher back, especially if it's for the sake of being a competition, but they might be forced to. And if there's another option out there, it's very bare bones. And, you know, you just got to root for these guys and hope they do the best, and maybe we got something. I don't know. But that may be just me being wishful hoping and thinking at this point in time. So with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell. You're a real MVP for reaching the end of this video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.